More on that June 2023 jobs report. Are they cooking the books? Hello, this is Chart GPT today. Yeah, more on that the 2023 June jobs report. Came in at 209 number of jobs created. There you can see this in the chart there being presented there. But the key there is the 3.6% unemployment rate, which doesn't initially look that bad. This is giving the impetus for the Federal Reserve to continue their rate hike policy. Of course, you know they have the dual mandate of jobs and price stability. So looking at 3.6, there's no reason they don't have to keep the interest rates higher to fight inflation, right? Well, we need to drill into that a little bit. Is it really all what it seems to be? Well, the first thing right off, you can see the trend. The trend, if you draw a line, is trending down. So the higher interest rates are having an effect, but not much on the jobs. And you look at it just purely in the raw sense here. But the trouble is coming for the Biden administration and Bidenomics. You can see that the unemployment rate among African Americans are popping up to 6%, which is kind of surprising. You have to go, if you're not counting COVID, you have to go back almost to pre-Trump days to get those kind of numbers. So that's going to be affecting a lot of in the African American community that is generally supportive of Joe Biden. But we want to go beyond the numbers here. First off, I want to look at this unemployment rate. It's 3.6% today, according to the BLS. But if you go back to the recession, it got around to as high as 10% at the trough of the 2008, what they call Great Recession. 10% versus 3.6%. So that's a 6.4% difference. However, when you look at what they call not in the labor force, there's about 100 million not in the labor force today at 3.6% unemployment. But if you go back even at the depths of the Great Recession, it was around 80 million. So we have an extra 20 million people not in the workforce, and yet the unemployment rate is lower. Well, that's about a 25% increase. Well, the first thing you might say, well, population has increased, and that is true. We were around 305 million people back in 2008, and we're about 333 million. But that's only about an 8.5% increase in population versus the 25% increase of those not employed. So the question is, are they cooking the books? Well, it may not be necessarily cooking the books. It may be other factors obviously involved. One is in terms of how they calculate it. Here's a little chart of what they consider not in the labor force. And this does change, but I don't know if that even still explains it a lot. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for people not looking for work. It may be cultural. Maybe people just don't feel they want to work. They're willing to sit in mom's basement and just hang out and play Xbox. And there may be a lot of cultural issues. You know, remember now, not in the workforce. There's a lot of reasons you're not in the workforce. You can check out the AI and some of the reasons in the description box of the post that we link. But one has to wonder what's going on in the economy. If we were looking at it doing rough math, you know, if the same amount of people not in the workforce were actually working, we'd be looking at unemployment rates of 7-8%, and yet we're only reporting 3.6. And of course, this is very important because if we're going to have a Fed that's looking at jobs, that interest rates are too high relative to an unemployment rate. So this is the issue. Are they cooking the books, or are they just not understanding better the unemployment situation in America? This will have a material effect going forward in terms of interest rate and direction of the economy. So give us your take. Take the online poll in the description box. There's a post link there and a couple of the references here. Don't forget to subscribe.